So, today we're talking about online marketing versus offline marketing. This is often a conversation we have with small business owners because they're confused about the two. They're not sure what they need to be doing and how they need to be doing it. So, I'm going to go through each of them, and there's a little bit of pros and cons to both, but we're going to be having a chat about it. I'll give you 3 points on each, the norm. So, I think the first thing is let's talk about online marketing. So, online marketing involves promoting your business, your product, or your service on the internet via either your website, through online ads, or via a social media platform. So, this is where you are advertising online. And there are some advantages to being able to do that. It's quick and it's easy, particularly if you're using a graphic design tool like Canva. There is the option for you to be able to do it yourself or learn how to do it yourself, or you can also hire an expert to do it for you. But three of the probably key points that I'd like to bring up is that with online marketing, you can actually see the engagement of your content and promotions within about 24 hours. So you have a pretty good idea as to whether something is gaining traction or whether it's not gaining traction. So I love the fact that I can do a bit of advertising, I can look at it after 24 hours, and I can really determine as to whether that's been successful or not. So that's one advantage with online marketing. It's also really easy to track your return on investment. If you spend a lot of advertising campaigns can bring it all the way back to, particularly if you're bringing it back to a website where they purchase product, you can bring it all back to how much money they spent on your website. So that is key in being able to know whether your campaign is successful or whether it's not, and whether you'll run it again. Like, it might seem successful, then you go, but you know what? We only had 2 orders that were placed from that campaign, and it really didn't cover the money that we put into it. So we won't be running that again. So point number 2 is it's really easy to track your return on investment. Now, at this point in time, the other advantage with online marketing is that you can really target specific demographics. Now, whether that is the area that someone is living in, if you're a bricks and mortar store, or at this point in time, you can actually target people who are interested in certain things. Now, we all know that the privacy laws and things are changing very quickly when it comes to the online space. So this may not be a benefit in the future. It may very well be that my computer and my phone no longer knows when I'm looking for a new pair of shoes. And that would be handy to not have those ads coming up in front of me. But at this time, you can, as a marketer who's marketing your business, or as a business owner who's marketing your business, you can actually target specific demographics and people for your advertising. So that's a real, advantage of online marketing. Now let's move to offline marketing. So offline marketing is typically anything that does not involve the internet. So any magazine or television advertisements are good examples of this, but also, your letterbox drops, your local newspapers, that type of thing. So that's sort of what we're talking about when we're talking about offline marketing. Now, the advantages of offline marketing is that it can be quite impactful these days, depending on what you're doing, because there's not much competition. There's a lack of people doing it. Traditionally, offline marketing is a little bit more expensive than online marketing. So many small businesses in particular avoid it. But if you were doing things like a letterbox drop, I can tell you just in my letterbox in the last, year and a half, the amount of stuff that's not coming to my letterboxes anymore because people have stopped doing letterbox drops means that the people that are in there are actually getting more of an impact with me. They're getting, more of a reach with me because there's less competition. You used to get that big wad of stuff in your letterbox every day, and that's no longer the case. So it can be quite impactful because of lack of competition. People don't want to spend the money advertising in the local newspaper. It's quite easy to understand for a business owner. So if you're a new business owner that is not familiar with the digital space, it's easy for you to understand that you're going to hand over your money and somebody is going to put an advertisement in a newspaper, and that newspaper is going to go out to 10,000 people. So it's very kind of easy to understand for a new business, and I completely understand that. One thing I will say is, yes, you might be advertising on page 15 of the local newspaper and it is going out to 10,000 homes, but you have no idea how many of those 10 people actually got and read that paper and who actually got to page 15 and saw your ad. You might have an indication of how they acted on it because you might have had a call to action, bring this voucher in to receive X or get a discount, or, bring this in this month and get a free this. So you may have an idea of how many people are coming in, but you're still not sure how many people are seeing the ad. So, but it is very easy to understand. It tends to be a little bit memorable with your clients as well because there's not many people doing it. It can be very memorable. What I will say with offline marketing is choose what you're doing carefully. Those billboards on the side of the highway can be very effective if they're done correctly, but they can also be very expensive. So make sure you understand what you're wanting to get out of it. If you're wanting to get brand recognition, there may not be a return on investment for a long period of time. So have a think about exactly what it is that you want to do. And this goes before you are starting any advertising campaign. So the big question is, online marketing versus offline marketing, which one as a business owner should you be using? And I'm going to say a little bit of both. I think you need to be doing a bit of both. So you need to have some offline marketing out there and you need to have some online marketing. So check out those local community newspapers. They can be a really good place to advertise, but also make sure that you're doing your online as well and put a little bit of budget to both. You just want to see how it works. You may even like to consider radio advertising as another really good one. Get into people's ears while they're in the car. So that's my take on online marketing versus offline.